Welcome back. And now that's how it went down on the Hangout, tax issues. But we switch our attention back to the studio and as well switch the topic of discussion. We're looking at a bill that was proposed actually in the National Assembly and has generated so much furore in the social media circle that has brought about a hashtag called No to Social Media Bill. But joining me to shed more light on that is a social media expert, Ikemesit Effiong. Ikemesit, it's nice to have you on the program.
Always a pleasure.
What's going on? No to Social Media Bill. It's been trending on social media. What's going on? Why are people saying no to that particular bill?
Well, folks are just reacting to a bill that's been proposed in the Senate. Actually, the bill actually is supposed to its long title is an act to prevent the publication of frivolous petitions, and essentially what our senators are proposing are that a lot of people have used the various media, both traditional media and also social media, to bring up accusations that they feel are false, frivolous, unnecessarily vindictive of them, and they stipulate monetary fines and also prison terms too. And it also includes comments, suggestions, and allegations that are put forward on social media platforms. Yeah.
So why are people reacting? I think. Well, don't you think it's a good bill if you put out false information about people out there in the open? Like they say, the internet never lies, it never sleeps. You put out something today, in 10 years it can be dug out. So if it's false, don't you think that bill is in the right direction?
Well, it all depends on what you define as false. Now, for a lot of people, they feel this bill is an attempt by Nigerian lawmakers to essentially gag their freedom of speech, and for them, they're not going to have it. As far as they're concerned, Nigeria is still one of those democracies where the freedom of speech is reasonably. I think the Committee to Protect Journalists classifies Nigeria as a mostly free democracy, at least in terms of freedom of speech. So for them, they feel that the recent work by, say, online blogs in investigating the lives of some of our lawmakers and all of those things will not be able to. They won't be able essentially to do their work with the scepter of the bill, over their heads, essentially. And another thing to consider is the fact that, like I said, the definition of false is subjective, and there is, in law, for example, there is an object test for what is considered as truth and what is considered as false. Now, if a thing is true, under the law of defamation, for example, that can constitute a defense to anyone who's taking you to court, accusing you of putting out information there that is vindictive to them. But the bar is a lot lower when it comes to, journalism and investigative reports, and, people wanting to know what their leaders are up to and what their lives are like. So for them, this bill represents yet another attempt by the government to invade into their personal space and essentially regulate what they say online.
All right, so looking at, after all said and done, anonymity, how do you now get people who will come online anonymously, send out information, be it true or be it false? How do you now single those kind of people and take them to court, prosecute them? How do we go around stuff like that?
Again, therein lies the problem with the idea of trying to regulate free speech in the social media space. Technology hasn't evolved along the lines that our laws seem to understand, as it were. And so if you use a web browser like Tor, for example, or you open a Twitter or a Facebook account that doesn't bear your name, and you're still able to put this out there, it's very difficult for you, because if you're taking someone, if you're taking someone to court, either for a criminal matter or even in the law of torts, that person has to be clearly identified, as it were. Yes. So the law, as I've seen it, right, doesn't take cognizance of that, and it's been an issue that I and a couple of other people in the tech space have raised up with policymakers in the past, in that our laws really, our lawmakers and those who draft our laws need to sit down and actually understand how the technology works, as it were, if at all you want to think about regulating it. So this law doesn't make any requirements for that. So, potentially you could see that as a future loophole just waiting, for the law to come into force, and people may exploit as well.
So I am Victor Matthias, and I could tweet information as Mac Martin, and that's all.
Essentially, hypothetically, that's what it is, or it doesn't that's the point really, because anyone who hypothetically, I would imagine, sues you under this law would have to prove that you are actually the person behind the controls of the accounts, as it were, and it's very difficult in this day and age with troll accounts and people claiming to be Will Smith when they are not Will Smith, saying those things as it were. So it's a murky gray area, and I don't think it's something that our lawmakers have thought about, and therein lies a problem, they would have to figure out and sort out.
All right, we have to wrap it up here now. Kemisi Defiong, social media expert, thanks for coming on the program and sharing your thoughts. Well, like I was just even saying, I've seen like a lot of tweets on that. We're going to take a look at some of them sometime in the show, but once again, thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's where we are. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a moment to look at the tweets that have been coming in and also review the most viewed videos on our YouTube channel in the past week. Please stay with us.
Topping the charts from the bottom is a high-profile burial ceremony of the matriarch of the Awolowo family, Mama H.I.D. Awolowo, with notable dignitaries in attendance. Fourth is the nullification of former Senate President David Mark's election by the Court of Appeal in Makurdi, the Benue State capital. Coming at third place is the declaration of Kogi State governorship election inconclusive by the INEC returning officer.
The total number of registered voters of the polling units where elections were cancelled or not held is in excess of the margin of win between the two leading candidates. Consequently, this election is therefore inconclusive, and I hereby so declare.
In second place is the reaction of Nigerians regarding the penalty imposed on fuel marketers for hoarding premium motor spirit, thereby allegedly causing artificial fuel scarcity.
Selling free at the moment now. Who do I call now?
Well, if they are ordering the fuel, they shouldn't be doing that, to be sincere. They should keep their door open for people to come in and buy fuel.
So now that they did, you bought free?
Yes, I bought free. I got it free.
I was actually hunting for fuel, coming from VI, and I saw DPR people. I thought, okay, I guess they want to sell. So I was actually bringing out my wallet, and they told me, no, you are not buying. Put your wallet back in. That this is for free, and I filled my tank. So I guess this is a major warning to all those who are hoarding fuel and causing artificial scarcity that there is a new sheriff in town.
And in first position is a drama that ensued as DSS operatives escorted the leader of the indigenous peoples of Biafra, Mr. Nnamdi Kanu, in and out of the Magistrate Court, Abuja.
Well, there you go. Those were the comments that you sent and also the videos that you watched the most in the past week. But now the proposed bill, if it is to be passed, must address all the loopholes inherent to avoid constitutional crisis during prosecution. As we all know, the internet is governed, and those responsible for malicious comments can be fished out to face the full wrath of the law. We end on this note, but continue as always via the hashtags showing on your screen. Thank you for watching. I am Victor Matthias.